Now let's go to the 4 poems that we'll discuss. The first is Meghadutam. So Meghadutam. Megha is cloud and Dutam is messenger. Meghadutam is a poem where there is a yaksha, a supernatural being, who's cursed by Kubera, who is the king of Alkapuri, and who is the god of wealth. And he's cursed because he has not completed a responsibility assigned to him. He's cursed by the king to stay away from Alaka for a period of 1 year in a place called Ramagiri in Vindhya mountains. This yaksha requests a cloud to act as his messenger and take his love notes to his lover in Alka. He is lovesick, he misses his lover in Alkapuri, and he wants the messenger, the cloud messenger, the Megha, to take his love notes to his lover, who the yaksha thinks also is in love and is also missing him. He cajoles, he requests, he does everything to please the cloud so that the message of his love that he expresses for his lover is taken by that cloud to his lover in Alkapuri. That is the poem about, and this is a very lofty, a fanciful love poem. So this is written in Mandakranta meter, which is a 17 syllable long stanza for that poem, and each of the stanzas are complete in themselves, and they convey a meaning or a message for that particular stanza. So it's actually in a meandering and a very slow sort of a style, and this beautifully encapsulates how a cloud moves. It actually moves very slowly to the naked eye. So it slowly moves, it's meandering, it's just moving slowly. That's how it looks, and that the way the meter is designed as well. Many places are referenced in this poem, like Vidhisha, Devagiri, which is the place of Skanda, and Kailasha and Ujjain, etc. So many places which are the basis for Ramayana and Mahabharata are also referenced here, like Kurukshetra, etc. Yaksha cajoles. He compares the cloud to Vishnu, to Shiva, so that the cloud takes his message. Kalidasa, through this poem, describes the hilltops, the forests from the point of view of a cloud. Imagine doing this without airplanes. At that point in time when he had written this poem, there were no airplanes, but he still could imagine how from that lofty position of a cloud everything looks. River bodies, the forests, the mountains, everything. This is beautifully explained in this particular poem. We finally don't know whether the cloud took the message to the yaksha's lover in Alkapuri, but the yaksha does really try hard for the message to be conveyed through the cloud, Meghadutam. So this is the beautiful poem called Meghadutam. Now let's see what is Ritusamharam. What is the poem Ritusamharam about? Ritusamharam is basically a poem about the seasons of India. There are 6 ritus, 6 seasons in India. Vasant Ritu, which is spring, Grishma Ritu, summer, Varsha Ritu, which is rain, Sharad Ritu, autumn, Hemant Ritu, which is basically the pre-winter or frost that sets in before winter comes, and finally Shishir Ritu, which is the 6th Ritu, which is winter season. So Ritusamharam talks about all these 6 seasons and how they impact the life on earth, how they impact the rivers, animals, plants, bees, insects, all these things. The poet explores all these things beautifully. In fact, poet here describes nature in a more feminine way and compares nature with woman, and in fact sometimes nature exceeds the beauty of a woman. So that's what the poet tries to bring out of this beautiful poem in Ritusamharam. There are a lot of cliches in this poem where we have taken it for granted, like the mountains hugging the clouds or the bees are nuzzling towards the flowers and all these things. There are a lot of similes as well. So this poem beautifully describes the 6 seasons that we have in India: Vasant Ritu, Grishma Ritu, Varsha Ritu, Sharad Ritu, Hemant Ritu, and Shishir Ritu. This is all about Ritusamharam. This is a very playful sort of a poem where it describes all these things in a very playful mood. So you would enjoy reading this particular poem. Now let's go to the third poem, which is Raghuvamsham. Raghuvamsha is considered a Mahakavya because of the length of the poem and concentrating on a particular legendary character, and the language is more difficult rather than commonplace, and hence it's considered a Mahakavya. It is divided into 19 cantos and talks about 28 kings of the solar dynasty of Raghu. Raghuvamsha, as the name describes, mostly talks about Raghu and also about Rama, who is the most important king of the solar dynasty and on whom the Ramayana is completely based. The first canto begins with King Dilipa and his wife Sudakshina, and they are childless. But after doing some pujas and all, they are blessed with a son called Raghu. So from canto 2 to canto 6, we talk about Raghu. So Raghu is a great king. He is born in canto 2, and there he also performs Ashwamedha Yajna, where he threatens the position of Indra, which leads to a fight with Indra, but then finally they achieve a compromise where the fruits of the sacrifice reach Raghu, and King Indra keeps his place in Swarga. And then it goes further and he establishes his kingdom, and finally in canto 6 his son Aja is born. Aja is a great king again, and to whom is born Dasharatha. Dasharatha is the father of Rama. So in canto 9, Dasharatha is cursed because of an accident, and that curse says that he'll die after separating from his son, who is Rama. And from cantos 10 to 15, Kalidasa describes about Rama, and in that he covers mostly the return journey of Rama from Sri Lanka. So he actually summarizes most of the Ramayana in very brief way, and he concentrates mostly on the return of Rama from Sri Lanka. Ramayana is basically the journey of Rama towards Lanka, right? But here Kalidasa summarizes everything in like 5 chapters, and then he concentrates more on returning from Lanka to Ayodhya. In canto 16, we have Kusha, who is the son of Rama and Sita, and he becomes the king and he establishes Ayodhya as the capital city again. And canto 18 describes the other 21 kings. Canto 19, there is a bad king who is King Agnivarna, who is described in the canto 19, and the whole thing ends abruptly. But it's a Mahakavya because it talks about a great character like Raghu or Rama, and it's divided into 19 cantos, and the language is not easy to understand. It's not commonplace. So this is about Raghuvamsham. Now finally we'll talk about Kumarasambhavam. Kumarasambhavam, as the name suggests, is basically the birth of Kumara, who is the son of Shiva and Parvati. And he kills Tarakasura, who takes a boon from Brahma, saying that only the son of Shiva and Parvati could kill him. After the death of Sati, Shiva's asceticism is well known. He is in tapasya always. But then after knowing about the boon which Brahma gives to Tarakasura, Shiva has to come out of his penance. So the gods dispatch Kamadeva, who's Manmadha. Parvati, who is the daughter of Himavan, is sent by him to be of service to Shiva, and finally she falls in love with Shiva with the help of Kamadeva, but Shiva gets angry with Kamadeva and he burns him with his third eye. This poem is of 17 cantos, and after Shiva burns Kamadeva, Parvati is embarrassed and she herself leaves and tries to do penance. Then Shiva again goes to her and woos her, and finally they marry and they have Kumara, Kartikeya, who kills Tarakasura. So this whole thing explains the beauty, the Shringara Rasa between Shiva and Parvati, and how Kumara is born and how he kills Tarakasura. So this Kumarasambhavam is the epitome of Shringara Rasa written by Kalidasa. So this summarizes all the 7 works, the greatest works of Kalidasa. From all these things, what we can understand is that Kalidasa understands human emotions like no other. He understands the human behavior as well. Till today, we haven't found such great usage of language, of the human emotions or human behavior in bringing out such great works to the humanity. This is what Kalidasa has achieved with Sanskrit literature. Unfortunately, is called as the Shakespeare of India, which is laughable because Shakespeare is born so after Kalidasa is born, right? So actually, in fact, Shakespeare should be called as Kalidasa of Europe or United Kingdom or whatever. So that is the greatest of Kalidasa. So I hope you have liked this video. In the previous video, I have asked you a question: who wrote Harshacharitam? Harshacharitam was written by Banabhatta. Banabhatta actually in his Harshacharitam praises the greatness of Kalidasa. That was the greatness of Kalidasa even then, 10th century work. The question of the day is who or what is Aninda? And the Rishi for the week is Sage Kanva. I hope you have liked today's video. Do follow me on all the social media handles. So I'll see you in the next video. Until then, namaste.